Hi everyone. So today we're talking about this piece. Now this piece was a game from DS9. This is the first time it's been out of the box, and even the bag that it's in the box with, since it was first molded. There were two of these that went together here. And it was a game that was brought onto the DS9 station that Quark and some other shyster person came in and decided to take and adapt this into a larger piece that was much larger. I believe they were 20 or so inches in diameter. This particular piece was purple and pink. I believe this is a Jim Martin piece. I may be wrong. So let's get into the construction. I actually built this once again. I'm not the only one at all these different shops that build stuff. There's lots of other people. We just haven't necessarily gotten to everybody else's stuff yet. The construction of this is a styrene, 1/8 inch styrene disc, as you can see it here. And then there's a acrylic sphere on the inside that's been glued down to this 1/8 inch disc. That's where we stuck it down for molding purposes. So what happened with this is once we purchased quite a few of these acrylic half spheres, and we filled the back of one of them with plaster, just so it would help the acrylic hold its shape. And then what we did was we vacuformed over the disc here, or the half dome, and then cut the first layer with all of that. Then we vacuformed another one, and then another one over top of it. But what it was is you vacuform one, you release that one you just vacuformed. You vacuform over that one, the first vacuform. I hope I'm making sense here. So basically you had the acrylic, and then you had this first layer, which you vacuformed over, but you didn't take it off of the acrylic. Then you put a mold release over that whole piece of styrene, which is what this is, put a mold release on it, and then you vacuform over that styrene piece, and then you go back once again with some more mold release, and you vacuform over it one more time. And the reason you do that is so all of these pieces conform to each other, even though we were just going to be cutting off like into, this is where the push button was. So you wanted everything to be able to lay on top of itself and not have to worry about trying to make things fit. So some of these pieces that are cut out here are actually some of these pieces here. And then of course the rest of it was, just pieces cut from those other two pieces to make these layers. Now once this master was made, we took a silicone mold off of this side. And once we had the silicone mold of it, we then took the additional acrylic spheres that we had, and we put them, after pouring resin into the mold, we took that acrylic piece now and submerged it into the mold, which squished out all of the extra resin and allowed us to have these clear spots where you see them here, because all the acrylic domes were the same size. So as you push it in and hold it down until the resin kicks, is all of this surface meets up with the surface on the mold. all of this is a void. So once this hardened up, we could then take the whole piece out with the acrylic, leaving the acrylic in permanently. Okay, and then we would come in and do it. If there was a little bit of flashing on here, we would cut the flashing off of the pieces, do all the cleanup, and then we also had our hollow here because we needed the hollow for all of the big, giant, jumbo red LEDs that were protruding out of this thing. If I can find an image of what it looked like when we were done, I will try and put it into the video somewhere in here. I don't know. Hopefully I'll find it and be able to utilize the photo to show you the details. And then each one of these little sections here were actually where we put the screws that went through to the other side, which was also hollow. So the lights in here, or what? Hold on. You know, I think I'm going to correct myself. I believe they were green lights, not red lights. There might have been a red light, but I don't think they were all red. I think they were mostly green. But anyway, so you had two halves that get stuck together. A screw goes through the two pieces here, and that's how you access the batteries. You had a switch right here that you would push down on, and that would turn on all the lights, and they would be blinking all over the place. Don't ask me how the game worked as far as you know, when you push that on, what did it do? I have no idea. There was a 1 of 10 counter, meaning a light sequencer that counts from 1 to 10. So I believe there were 5 LEDs on each side. So when you push this button, they would cycle all over the place. Some of them were doubled up in that if it blinked here, it blinked over there. And in some cases, they were multiples of the 10 would go to one joint, to one solder point, so that 3 lights can come on at one time on one side and so on. So yeah, this is this was a fun project because it's just not, you know, the drawing gave us an idea of what it needed to look like, but it wasn't, this wasn't predestined to be these particular shapes and so on. It's just it needed to look similar to the drawing. I believe this was one of the 5 or 6 day projects because we had to make the master, obviously. And then we had to make, I believe, if I'm correct, we made 6 or 8 of these, all functional. And that took some time. So I think that's about all the information I really have on it. If you have any questions about it, please put them down in the comment section. Please like and subscribe. If you feel so inclined, please become a patron. Thank you.